guys, and welcome back to the Unpopular Opinion, where three beautiful, strong-minded women share their unpopular opinion with you. So today's topic, we are talking about things that we need to see normalized in 2022. Like, there are things that in 2022 should be normal, and not questioned. Fiona, what's yours?
Okay, I have them on my phone. Okay, my first one is not having kids, and like on two levels. First,
I'm sprinkling holy water on you. I need to first sprinkle some holy water on the audience so that you take this in with the Spirit. Jesus be with you.
Okay, so I mean this on two levels. So first is just being a 30-something old woman. I'm almost 32, and not having kids. The judgment, the questions, the aunties, can I let women exist outside this bubble of you must be a mother? It's not a must. It's not written somewhere. Maybe it's not your time. Maybe you're never going to have them at all.
And did I mean that you hate kids?
100%.
Okay.
Like anyone who follows me knows I am obsessed with my nephew. But yeah, I don't have kids. And so there's that level of just being a 30-something-year-old and not having kids. And also, if you're just a person who has decided that it's not for you, that you do not want to have children, I just feel like there's a lot of judgment, especially when you're a woman. Like, what kind of woman cannot want kids? What kind? And I just feel like being a parent is a calling, just like how you're called to. Yeah, and it's just not for some people. And I truly believe you can have a fulfilling and wonderful life without having children. I wish we could normalize just not.
Have you seen? I was at a place somewhere, and a lady is driving away. It was, I think, a vigil. So she's leaving later on in the day in her very nice Beamer, and she has come. We've had nice conversations. She's happy, and people are like, "Bambi, that woman has money, you people." But she has no kids. And I was like, what makes you think she's sad? Why are you saying Bambi? What makes you think she's sad?
Why is a qualifying factor for my happiness? Why can I just... I can't be happy minus.
But I also feel like people who do have kids romanticize having children. I've been there for 5 months. It's not romantic at all. Like, we romanticize having children like it's beautiful, it's wonderful. It is, but it's also challenging and it's hard. Yeah, it's hard work. So for me, actually, my mom was one of those people who said, "You're having kids in this world." Like, look at it. My mom is one of the only women I know, very few women that I know, mothers that tell their kids, "Why are you having children? Why? Don't you see where the world is going?" Do you get what I mean? Like, do you not see the prophecies in the Bible? Things are not getting better. Things are going to get worse before they get better. So why are you having children? Wait until it gets better, then have children, And she has a point. The way they were when they were kids is different from the way we were. Things were worse when we were kids. Now, can you imagine how worse off they're going to be with our kids? So it's okay for someone to be like, and I see a lot of people who want children, but are like, in this bad world, like, what if I bring a child and they're raped? What if I bring a child and they die? And I die? Some people do not want that because it's huge. It's huge. Having children is it's not romantic at all. And it's okay for people to realize the bad things about having children because they are there. And decide that, look, fine, there's the positive, good on you who have decided to have children, but for us who have, me, I just don't want to go that road.
Yeah. And that's okay. And also, it's like, genuinely, some people, it's just not, it's not in them. They don't feel the desire, because of course for a lot of people they feel that desire, like, man, I really want to have a child. That's something that I really want for myself, and it's a beautiful thing. Some people don't have it. These things of making women believe that all of us must have it, it is somewhere ingrained in us, but guess what? Some people don't, and it should be okay. It shouldn't be something we judge women for, even men, but just that I see it more strongly towards women. It's like, you're there. That's like how they were judging that woman. Hey, she has money, mama. It's like it's a requirement, a prerequisite for someone's.
Like, she has not fully made it in life.
Kids. That's true. We need to stop it. Normalize women not wanting to have children, even men, it's okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah, even men who don't want to have, people not having kids, not wanting to have kids, Thank you so much. Oh, that was a very, very good entry into this topic, as in...
Now, to be fair, I'm not one of those people who never wanted children. I was dying since I was a child.
That's okay.
I wanted to be a mom since I was a child. So I always wished, it took me a long time to have kids. So I always wished I was one of those people that didn't want children, because that was hard. Wanting one and not having one was hard. So it was kind of like, that's a whole conversation. Maybe we should do a video about this. Prim, what's one thing you want to see normalized?
For me, I think we need to normalize letting people be, accepting them for who they are and respecting them, okay? There's this whole expectation, like you thinking that, at 30 we shouldn't, like for me, I think it's, like I'm saying this coming from probably my insecurity or point of view, that I've been, quite judged by my Christian friends that she's not Christian enough. So normalize letting fellow Christians, please normalize letting Christians be. Like, everyone understands God, God meets people at their individual points of view. So don't impart your religion on another person. Yes, like, please go to heaven alone. If you don't see me there, don't bring me water. Don't give me that water on the tongue that I don't know Abraham gave to, I do not know who in the Bible. When God tells you to increase firewood in my fire, please do. Like, let people go to heaven on their own, okay? So, because there's a lot of tearing down and gossip in the church. By the church, I mean by us, because we are the church. No, and you feel like, oh, how could a Christian do that? We judge other Christians, judge harshly. Why would a Christian do that? Why would a Christian dress like that? Why would let God? I have an uncle who got born again. He's drunk. He was coming from the bar. He was high, passed by a crusade, had the word, and he got born again. I'm sure heaven celebrated that day. You don't see the angels saying, he was drunk. No, exactly. So let's normalize letting people be, respect their decisions, how they want to live their lives. It does not matter if they're not Christian enough for you, or Muslim enough for you. Like, or you're not praying 5 times a day, or you didn't fast this Ramadan. Normalize letting people be.
I believe that people who judge, and that is God's job.
Right?
It's not your job. You're giving yourself God's job. I feel like there should be a word for that. Do you know what I mean? It's and that's a bit, yes, exactly. Like, you have your job. Do your job. Don't do God's job. Anyway, don't get me started on toxic Christianity. I will never end. So mine is being okay with being yourself without fear of judgment, because I feel like our school system mass produced us.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
We must all do a thing.
Issue.
Yes, standard issue. For copy paste. S1, S2, S3, S4. By S6, everyone is like this. Copy paste, which I don't feel is in the Western world. The Western world, everyone is allowed to be themselves. They thank you. You want your hair long. You want your hair short. Once we work, all of us cut hair off to a particular level. The teacher would even come with a ruler. Do you understand? We really suffered. So you find that all of us are doing the same things.
Yeah.
But there's no way all of us are interested in the same things. That's true. You get? And you find now the rest of us that are trying to do different are judged.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
Now, we keep doing it because we've decided that being judged is none of our business. If you decide to judge me, that's on you. Not on me. Yeah. And I feel like this should be normalized, even in schools. Who cares what your handwriting looks like? It's different. It's your hand. Yeah. Why must you beat me for writing like me? You get? For being left-handed. For having a stammer. For having a lisp. Do you understand?
For not sharing my food.
for not sharing my food is my food. But then I find a lot of people messaging me because I seem to have this confidence, which I do, but I've worked hard to get where I am in my confidence. Indeed. I'm pretty sure you guys remember, Prim, I think you're the one who used to see how I lacked confidence, and yet I'm a naturally confident woman. Yeah. But then life happens, yes, and then school happens and life happens, and you are no longer... Yeah, it kind of shrinks you because, you know. But then I get so many messages from people trying to say, how do you get confidence? I want to also get confident and things like that. And it's not they're not doing what they want to do because they lack confidence. Why? Because they care what other people will say. Yeah. I'm coming to tell you this, my dear. Potential is where fear of judgment is where potential goes to die. You have this potential, and then it meets judgment, and judgment just swah. You get what I mean? And I feel like once you get past that fear of judgment, because look, damned if you don't, damned if you do, they're going to judge you anyway. That's the honest truth. People are going to judge whether you do what, whether you're the humblest, little, meekest woman, wife, and you do everything you're supposed to do. People are going to judge you. So why don't you give them something to judge about? That you even enjoy. That you enjoy. The three of us can guarantee you nothing's going to bad is going to happen to you if you do what you want without fear of judgment.
There's only so much. Like, sometimes you have to ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Yeah. Like,
you gonna die?
Like, what is the actual worst? You know, and even when you were just talking about being reduced, man, the way our society is set up can really reduce you. I remember, like, when I was younger, just like, I was the me of now. Maybe even more. Like, I was just like really confident, really free. I like to dance, I like to sing, I like to be on stage, Then you get to like high school and you're talking about you want to work in advertising, you want to work in... And people are telling you those are not real dreams.
You don't want to be a doctor?
That's not serious.
But like, those are not real dreams to have. Are you serious? Those can be your hobbies.
How will you provide for yourself?
Right? But like, those are hobbies. Those are hobbies. And it reduced me so much. You guys, I became super introverted. Yeah.
And yet
I was just like in a tiny little box because I was like, so my normal way is not the way. Yeah. Therefore, I should just now become tiny. You guys, it's exhausting.
What you do defines you. We're being defined by, the cars we drive. We're being defined by the jobs we do. Have you ever done Ask Me Anything? And people are very quick to say, what do they call it, 9 to 5? No. Yes. It's called 9 to 5? Yeah, do you have a 9 to 5? I'm always like, okay, so are you trying to see, Bambi, is she just always here walking around naked? Or can we respect her? How much should we respect her? She's just always there posting, funny stories, but she has a job. Okay, my respect right now is at 20%. Do you have a 9 to 5? Okay. Okay, if you have one, then that's like 80%. Yeah, I don't think you're... At least. I don't think you're a starving, like, Bambi content creator or anything. I think we can have a conversation now.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the people's judgments, what people say, they'll say it anyway. So let them, at the very least, let them be saying something you enjoy, talking about something you're enjoying. Right. Okay, Fiona, the next one.
Okay. So single women living on their own. I mean, I feel like when I was choosing this, there's like stuff about me, about that I actually understand, and I live on my own. And I feel like where we are now is not where we were like 10 years ago, where it's like, oh my God, there's no way. But even now, like my friends' parents get shocked that I live alone, and I don't know how many. I've never asked my parents, but I can imagine how often they get asked about why I live alone, yet I'm not married. And I really wish we could just normalize it. It really there's even no like special. It really just should be okay for a grown woman who can take care of herself to live on her own.
Maybe you're 1872.
Yeah.
Maybe you're now spoiled.
It doesn't mean that I'm just.
She won't find a man to marry her.
It doesn't mean. it shouldn't mean anything except that I just want to live by myself. it's a life choice.
Because you're a grown-ass woman.
It's just a life choice that people should just be okay with it. Don't wonder, how could you go when you're not married? How can you just be there?
Men are going to be intimidated.
Funny things like that. Like, let's release ourselves from those things. No, how can a man fear me because I'm paying rent? Because why? Do I not have a job? Do I not work? It's like, it should just be okay. I don't even, like, there's no even special anything else to say.
True.
Just be okay with it. Someone is living by themselves, and that's that. Let's move on. We shouldn't even discuss.
No discussion, period. Prim, what's your next one?
For me, number 2 is we need to normalize knowing that fat people are not dying, they are not unhealthy, they work out like you, yes. And when you go to hospital and the first thing they say, you know, when they take your blood pressure, and I see how nurses are like, let us try again. Because, you know, when it's normal, let us try again.
You're literally dying.
Yes, like, I cannot believe that you just walked in and your blood pressure is like normal, healthy, what? It's like they try it again and then they're like, Then they take your sugar, normal. They're like, Someone's like, it's like that thing where, you know, like the Western world was wondering why Africans are not dying from COVID. It's like the nurse is wondering, why don't you have pressure? Why don't you have diabetes? When you are in a, you know, like a conversation and you casually say, oh yeah, the other day I was working out, and we're like, okay.
You work out.
You work out and you look like that. We work out to stay healthy. And this should be like something normal. Like, don't go looking at people, you know, judging, like someone walks into a facility and then you start telling them things like, you're like, oh, I have flu, I'm coughing. They're like, this is because you're fat, you need to lose weight. You're like, so my leg broke the other day, I slid in the bathroom, lose weight. Yeah, I have a pimple. Oh, that's because of the weight. You need to, please.
Let's do better.
Lose weight. Let's do better.
Let's do better.
Yeah. No, yeah.
But I feel also this whole, go get there.
Yeah.
Where are you taking this balm? None of your business. Where are you taking the weight?
Yes.
None of your business. Because if we're going to, I feel like if we normalize, if you're going to talk about my body, I'm going to talk about yours.
Yeah.
Because that's honestly what I do. You tell me I'm fat, I tell you have a, you know, I have a big bum, I tell you have a big nose. Do you understand? Like, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, come on, you're going to, thank you. You're going to mention the obvious. Yes, I have a big butt, but since we are mentioning obvious, you have a big nose too, or you're short, or, you know, I mean, we can bash each other till kingdom comes. Do you understand? It's unnecessary. If you have no good comment, say, oh, Bambi, I like your bum. So that's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Or say nothing. You can also just say nothing. I don't know, people always have to say things.
Normalize saying
People just say nothing. Actually, just normalize saying nothing.
Honestly, very few people talk about my body anymore, unless people who have never said it and they come to me and they say something. Honestly, I say something back because I need it to end.
Yeah.
All my life, I have had body image issues. Do you understand? As a teenager, people used to tell me I used to eat on my sister's food because for her she was small and I was bigger. Now I'm eating. Do you know all those things have, all those comments have, you know, you go to the hospital, everyone's telling you you're fat. If you see, I see my pictures now, I want to be fat like I was fat then. Do you understand? And we're not fat. We are endowed.
I think even though we've made the word fat ugly, because of this jazz.
It's just, don't talk about other people's bodies and don't assume just because people are bigger than others. God made us different.
Yes. Guys are suffering.
Thank you. But for me, honestly, don't come and
don't even talk to people who are skinny. Don't tell them about being small, because there are people who are trying to gain weight. Yeah, you need to eat. You've lost a lot of weight, blah, blah, blah.
Some guy, you guys, there was a guy, I remember it was back in, when I used to live in Nairobi, and I was at my smallest then. I was like 55 kilograms. And this guy straight up tells me, but yeah, you look like those Somali refugees.
First of all, what an offense.
Everyone kept quiet. Like, where, how many, there's so many levels to that statement. No one even knew where to start from.
So many people, yes.
How many people are going to offend with your one statement? Like, on so many levels, it was so wrong on so many levels, everyone just...
But also, I'm thinking, was this man a perfect looking?
Nope.
Thank you, because we could talk about how your big nose is swallowing up all the air in the entire room.
And you could tell there was just like that You know, people who think that it's okay to just talk anyhow, and even like as if it's a joke.
Yeah.
Because he laughed and no one else laughed, and it was those, and unfortunately, like it was me. And in that moment, I was confused. Where he stunned me, like I was stunned,
shock,
and I kept quiet. And I remember later, like another lady who was there took me aside and told me, "Don't worry about that. And I was like, I wish, like now when I think, I'm like, I wish someone had.
Because no, at the end of the day, we need to stop taking the bullshit. Do you understand? We need to stop taking
And
the
you take
bullshit.
those conversations to your bathroom. Have you ever had conversations in your bathroom where you're like, I should have replied this, then they would have replied this, and then
I'm going to say this. You people, me, I don't regret what I don't say. Do you understand? I don't not anymore. I say it. I say it because it's the first time you talk about my body negatively to my face is the last time. I make sure because you don't get to make me feel bad about my body. Do you understand? And when we keep quiet, we're enabling these people. And that's why we have a generation of anorexic children, teenagers, bulimic. Kids that are trying to starve themselves just so they can look a certain way, Bodies are beautiful. All bodies are beautiful.
when people are doing surgery to get big asses or whatever, like we are creating insecurities in people to like that.
Exactly. So look, if you talk to any one of us about our bodies negatively, we're going to tell you to. And I'm going to be petty. Honestly, this is me saying I'm going to be petty. I'm not usually petty, but with this one, I shall be petty. So for me, I feel like we need to normalize women and men not staying in marriages with cheating spouses. I'm going to talk more on the side of women so that Prim does not attack me because it's the majority, the ones I know me.
So you don't know any women that have cheated on
No.
men?
Not that I know of.
Okay,
You're
speaking
from my point of view, yes. Not that I know that are close, that I can say I'm close enough to give advice to, But what I'm saying is that women need to, we as women need to stop forcing other women or making them feel bad or judging them for leaving marriages or with unfaithful spouses. Because what usually happens, Fiona, you're going to come to me and say David or John is cheating on you, and I am going to be like, hey, where do you think you're going to find one that doesn't cheat? That's how men are. Do you understand? And I feel like that's not right. That's not fair. Do you understand? Do you know the suffering that comes with someone cheating? You get? No one's paying you for that suffering. Do you understand? No one's paying you for that suffering. So if you decide to leave, it's okay. It should be okay. Society should normalize that it's okay for one to decide to leave an unfaithful marriage. That's okay, in my opinion. And also, we should not judge us, the people who are looking around. She left. Never way she's going to find another one that doesn't cheat. Do you understand? It's not okay to judge people who leave. Yes. And I'm not judging the people who decide to stay. That's your choice. That's completely your choice. You get. But also the people that decide to leave, to leave, should also, that choice is theirs. Exactly. But also what I'm trying to get at is that judgment. It's not helpful.
No.
You get. People say, and this is where I'm going with now the Christian groups, you need to forgive. Who says I can't live and not forgive? Do you get what I mean? You can stay and still be bitter and still not forgive. Forgiveness comes from the heart. It's not an action. It's something that is in the heart. If you have not forgiven, whether you stay or not, doesn't matter.
That's true.
You get what I mean? But also, especially for Christian groups, again, the Bible says you can leave. That is one of the only reasons that's given for leaving a marriage. Unfaithfulness.
I'm going to say this. Okay, I'm going to say this. The standard for men is too low, you guys. The bar is in hell, and we need to just
Bring it
raise
back
it.
up
Because
to ground.
it's like for women, you just have to be that, and you have to be this, and you have to be that, and you have to be all these amazing things, and no one, like we don't even have space to breathe. But men can just be chilling. It's like, yeah, cheating, no big deal. All men cheat, and because the bar is so low, so then they continue, and we also continue, and we're like, it's fine. All husbands, all men. Actually, people get offended by that all men thing, but it's like that because the standard is so low. So a majority, like an overwhelming majority, just kind of go with it. When a woman cheats, it's like, oh, daughters of Jezebel, the whores, the prostitutes.
When you're a woman
are
and
now,
you cheat, you're a whore. When you're a man,
it's
you're
like,
celebrated.
It's like I
it's
mean,
just a passage
come
of
on
life.
now. Like, the bar is just so low, and that's why. And we also encourage it because, like you said, like we tell fellow women that, no, they all do it, it's fine. Just continue in the suffering, as if there's a suffering Olympics award that we are going to get.
There's a time I was listening to this I think it was a Zoom call. You know those days of COVID when we were locked up and people would get together on Zoom. And this woman sounded so hurt. Time after time after time after time. Her man would go out, have a baby, bring them home. Go out, she forgives 7 babies that are not hers within their relationship. And you know what people were saying? That this woman is Christian. She's a good woman. She's being a good wife. I'm like, so being a good wife equals suffering. Just lie down and they step on you. For me, that to me was what was not right. That perception of like she's being a good wife by suffering. That woman was crying. It was heart-wrenching. You get? And people were saying she is a good woman. So the rest of us who choose to say that, look, this is the bar, I'm not going to lie down and you step on me over and over, I'm not a rug. You know, is that where we've gotten to? It's 2022. Yeah. You get? It's no longer 18 whatever, the 1800s. You get? Women have the choice to actually, men as well, not suffer. You know, and that kind of suffering, that heartbreak, now you've lived your entire life, you've been hurt and hurt and hurt, you know, and all you have at the end of your life is pain in your heart. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
It does. It makes sense. Either you keep hurting or you switch off. Either way, it's not a way to live. You know, Prim.
Now the thing is, when it comes to that, my opinion is, and I've always wanted to do a YouTube video on this, my opinion is that everyone should have their breaking point. Your breaking point is different from mine. Now the thing is, the funniest thing is, I don't think I would leave my partner for cheating, but I would leave my partner for emotional abuse. Cheating, please, we are going to hold these hands. And go and look at that TV and say, Zeno mwami wange tusazewo, we are together. Haters. Yes. Will literally be in your face and say, Abana mubalete. Like, co-wife, please. Bring the kids. I'm going to educate your kids, do not worry. But then the day,
You're a better woman than
yes, that day, Bobuna ever emotionally abuses me. Like, and I know this is something that's very trivial to so many people. Like, what do you mean emotional abuse? Thank you. It's very trivial. You see, it's how I also feel like there's someone who feels like cheating is so trivial. But I feel like if the day my partner emotionally abuses me or dismisses my feelings or makes me, feel a certain way, inadequate, insecure, whatever, that is the day.
For you, that is it.
You get. And for other people, they'll tell you it's physical, violence. Someone else will be like, for me, cheating, the next time it's, a physical domestic violence. Another person, it's abuse, what? Yeah, so I feel like when it comes to that topic, honestly, for me, my opinion is different. Everyone has their breaking point, know what yours is, and that's when you can hang in the towel.
Yeah, it's interesting, like, this is all kind of off topic, but like you see how you say like emotional abuse? Because me, if you cheat on me, I
That's
also get
emotional abuse.
It's part of it. But that's me anyway. Everyone handles things. Like now me, I would feel abused.
I will look at cheating as, they had sex. I feel like, I think it could, in a moment, of weakness, it could have happened to me too. I could also have, had sex with someone else. Because I feel like, I really don't attach that emotion to sex.
Anyway, it's a different perspective, yes. Because now for me, with sex with me, between me and my husband is, hey, spiritual. Do you understand? Like, it is ours. You get? Like, his body is mine and mine is his. I can't fathom so much as in my life, I've never been attracted to any other man. In my life, I've known him since I was 16 and I've been married before. So he's not my first husband, he's my second, but he's the only man I've ever been attracted to. Now, if for us, we communicate, do you understand? Even when the sex is not great, which sometimes it is, we communicate, do you understand? Sex is a communication between a language only him and I speak, you know, and for as much as yes, we share our experience verbally, but the physical is now. You're saying what? You've gone and got Nachiganda there.
I feel like in my whole days, I would have pity sex. You get? I would have pity sex. Like, I'd be like, Bambi, let me sleep with this person. Like, Bambi, let me make your dreams come true, Bambi. Like, I feel like, you also see how it is. You get? So that's why, and I know that probably I need therapy or whatever, but sex is just exactly that. Like, I would really, like, you know, that's the thing. That's why I'm always like, I don't know why guys always feel like they're the only ones doing this. Like, in my whole days, I used to do that. I used to be like, Bambi. He has over begged me for a long time. Yeah, it's just sex now. What is going to happen? But now I know Christ. I don't really do pity sex anymore. But also I would also have sex because I'm scratching an itch. So that's why there was no attachment. But right now, there's that attachment, you know, attracted or whatever. But if, you know, I feel like in a moment's notice, who knows? So anyway, this is, I think, me pleading for my case. So that please don't judge me when you hear that Prim was in a scandal.
No, we're not judging you. I mean, our appreciation of things is very different.
Yeah.
The dynamics of the relationships we're in.
And you know, some people are more, as you said, we have different tolerances. We really have different tolerances. Now, like if my husband, like to a certain extent, if you do something that I feel is emotionally abusive, we can talk about it. But please don't be bringing for me Nachiganda's son who I raise. Do you understand? If it's not my child, I'm not raising them. In fact, you go.
Now, I'm actually the total opposite. Like growing up, I always wanted to be like a stepmom. I always hoped because I told myself I'd be such a great stepmom. Like, I promise you, I would. There's like a guy I used to see with his kids, and I'm like, I would be such a good mom to your kids. Like, I don't know if your wife is there, because he would only, you know, pass with just him and his kids all the time. I'm like, I never see the wife. I'm like, I could only just have one other child, and I raise your 3 children with mine, and we just have, like, I didn't mind ever being a stepmom. That's something.
A great stepmom if I found you with your child. But if you're bringing the child after we are married, for me, honestly, it's especially because, and I'm speaking on my point, my experience between my husband and I. We are very good friends. We're best friends. I trust him wholly. And that's what our relationship is based off of. And so if I know that you have gone outside, that means that trust is gone. Do you understand? So everything our relationship is about is completely shattered. And it's like a broken mirror. Doesn't matter how much you try to fix it, it will never, ever be the same. It will always be broken. It will always bring a distorted picture. For me, that's how I feel, and I'm very passionate about it. So don't judge me if ever anything happens and I leave. And to be honest, I also extend him the same grace. Look, if I know I will never, because I've never been, and I don't think I will ever be attracted to another man. But if I do, I extend him the same grace. If you feel, now for my husband is the kind who's like, no, I'm sticking with you, which bless his heart. But for me, no. Nachiganda's children are going to be raised by Nachiganda. Do you understand? And so for me, that's it for me. Fiona, what's your next one?
Okay, so my third one is just normalize out of the box professions. I feel like, we're in a time of people are more accepting of different things, but we have not yet normalized properly. I'm tired of going to places and parents are asking me, so now,
you take pictures.
So you did law? Yes. So now what you're doing is what? And then you're like, digital this, da da da. So now, what does that mean? Do you think you're going to be able to pay for your life? Do you think you'll be... It's like, it's normal, you guys. People do other things also which are not... And it's not that those do things outside the normal professions of like doctor, lawyer. architect, engineer, what those things are great, but they can't be for everybody. Surely if we're all in 4 professions, what the what are you guys going to do on social media? Who's going to entertain you? Well, are you going to watch movies? Or what? We shall all be lawyers and there'll be no one on TV. Yeah. It's like, let's just normalize doing other things, being photographers, being all sorts of artists. I think it happens a lot mostly in the arts. Yeah, just like in the arts, be things. Let's
and
normalize.
You know, the funny thing with creatives is it's a wide, like you can come up with your own creation. It's so broad, yes.
Like I hope that also parents are just more open. Don't put your kids in boxes.
Yeah.
It's suffocating.
Because you were a lawyer or a doctor doesn't mean
it suffocated me having to live out that dream for my parents.
Yeah.
Suffocated me for what? 5 years? Actually more, because then I had to go into the workspace, also confused. It's so suffocating and it will damage your relationship with your kids. I'm just going to say, because me, I know what it did to my relationship with my parents. Stop pushing your kids into tiny little boxes of the dreams that you have for them.
Yeah. Or the dreams that didn't come true for you and now you want to live them out to your children. Yeah.
I remember my dad used to tell me, because my dad always saw my potential. Like he knew I was born to be in the limelight, you know, and the entire world made me feel bad about the fact that I did want to be in the limelight. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be in the limelight. Yeah. But growing up, I'm pretty sure you guys knew. You guys know and feel it. My dad used to be like, if it was up to my father, I would be in Nollywood. Yeah. He wanted to pay for me to go to Nollywood and act in Nigerian movies because that's where he saw his daughter going. When I told him I was going to, because I did law, when I told him I was going to do law, he was very disappointed. He was like, why are you wasting so much potential? He didn't like it at all, you know? So I feel like that's what now. I hear a lot of my dad's words about how he believed in my potential. He knew I was meant to be bigger than what the society, yes.
For me, I think it's going to be, my last one is going to be, this is now a lesson I learned from my sister. I realized that as the firstborn, I feel like I made so many mistakes along the way, and I kept trying to hold her back from like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. But then one day I remember telling her, I think she had slept out of home for like, I think a day or two, and we had looked for her. And then I told her, I know that you're with guys, you know, and she was like, I know you're with guys, what? And, you know, they'll just mess up your life, blah, blah, blah. And I remember she told, and I'm like, I don't want you to, then I remember she was, you know, fighting back. And I told her, you see, I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I made. And she's like, but, you know, you learn, like, you made your mistakes. Let me also make my own mistakes. Let me learn from them. So later, you know, when the anger has subsided and, you know, now I'm just being level-headed and, you know, taking accountability for myself, as like, you know, she's right. You know, we need to normalize letting people make their own mistakes. I know it's natural for you, you know, as a firstborn or as a parent to watch your child go a certain, you know, direction, and the most we can do for or even just your lover, your spouse, your friends, it's easy for you to be like, don't do this, don't invest in this business because I invested it and I'd made losses. Let people risk, let people take risks, let them make their own mistakes, because there's always something to learn from them. They come back from them. The most we can do is offer them support. We wait for them to come back and we offer them support. Now, I used to be the kind of person who cannot wait to say, I told you so. Yeah. But I feel like right now, because I wouldn't want someone to tell me I told you so. I would just want you to say, okay, it's now happening. How can I support you? I don't care if you told me about it. I don't care if you warned me. Now it should come from a point of what can I do? Because I think that's what I would offer. Like now I'm at that point where I just say, where do we go from here? How can I make this better for you? Or how can we now write this? But I know that with life, we cannot stop people from learning. So we need to normalize letting people take risks, make mistakes, and not just keep pushing our, you know,
projecting our fear.
Yes.
Because I remember when I was sharing my pregnancy journey, someone messaged me, actually a couple of people messaged me, what if the child dies? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I understand they experienced that, but I hadn't. Yeah. And I was enjoying my pregnancy. But you know how terrified, I almost stopped. Yeah. You know, then I realized that these people are projecting. I know they're coming from a good place. They don't want me to hurt the way they did. Yeah. and have to come out and say, look, my child died, if my child does die. But I don't want to live in the future. If that pain hasn't come, I don't want to have, you know, and I decided in my heart, if it happens, I'll come back to my audience and say and share my experience with the loss and things like that. But I'm not going to live out someone else's fear. I'm not going to let someone else's fear affect my decision. Yeah.
I think like even what you're saying is just like even on the receiving end, it's important to not allow like how Priscilla was like, no way, I'm going to do my thing. You also need to be wary of people projecting their stuff on you. And then next thing you know, you're fearing, you can't take risks, you can't do this, you can't, because Claire told me this might happen and the world might end.
All right,
Stay
so
woke.
I think that's what we have for today. We shall see you in the next episode, but we want to know, what are the things you want to see normalized in 2022? Tell us and subscribe.
Before we go, please. Guys, we need to say this. Please, normalize. Women need to society needs to normalize talking about sex. Hearing women talking about sex. Women being sexual. Guess who you're having sex with, dear men? Women. And dear women, you're also having sex with that. Surprise. Local man finds out that he's been having sex with women all along. So, please, society, normalize.
Okay for women to be sexual. Bye, guys. See you next time.